you ever wondered what would happen if you put cotton wool and glue together? Let's find out! Isn't she cute? This is our fun little craft for today, so let's start making her. So my name is Randy and I like to do arts and crafts. We will be using cotton wool, glue, popsicle sticks, brushes, some thread, a box cutter, some foam and some paint. I've got this packaging foam and I'm going to use this as my base. My styrofoam is 4 centimeters thick, so I'm going to cut out a square. I'm just going to mark it. Well, it's more going to be rectangular because, well, we don't have square sheep. So let's move this to our cutting mat. And I'm just going to cut it with a box cutter. And I would recommend wearing some ear protection because the noise isn't that nice. So now we have this rectangular shape and I wanted to make it already a little bit more round. So I'm just going to cut off the corners. I really hate this stuff. It sticks to everything. So this is the shape I've ended up with. I think this is going to be the right shape for our base. Let's make the legs. Let's start by just cutting these in half. I think we need them a little bit shorter. So I just take my little pliers and just bending. So I think this will be fine, but I want to be able to stick them in here. So let's try and make them a little bit more pointy. So I'm going to do the same with the other one. So I've got 4 legs. So let's place them into the styrofoam. I think it needs a little bit of help. So I'm just going to use my sharp pointy thing to make a beginning. That's better. We might have to put a little bit of glue on the stick and secure them that way. First I'm going to add the other 3. So let's see if she's going to stand. So next up I'm going to add a neck. I'm just going to put it in at an angle and I think our base is done. Let's get some of the cotton wool. So it says open here. So I did get this sheet because you can buy it in like little round flat pieces, but I thought this is going to be the easiest to work with. It's just one continuous piece. So let's just take probably this much. So this is the sheet we can start working with, and I'm going to start using it dry just to make a base. So probably need about half the width. And I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just doing this for the first time. I haven't practiced it or anything, so I'm just making it up as I go. I might have made the legs a little bit short. We'll have to see. Let's put some on the sides. I think I'm going to tear it. And let's start by using our string to just wind around it. So I'm just going to wrap it around and around, going in between the legs, just seeing if we can make a nice fluffy base. And it doesn't need to be flat because it's going to be bumpy anyways. Ooh. Almost dropped it. I think it already is looking quite cute. I'm just going to have to make a knot somehow. Let's see, maybe we can use the neck to secure it. I'm just making a knot and I think that's going to be fine because we're going to add the second layer on top and that's going to be the wet layer. So this is our base done. Let's prepare our glue. So the glue I'm using is a white craft glue. Let's start and add some to this container. Let's start with this. I'm just going to add some water. And when mixing glue with water, always start with a little bit. Because if you add a lot of water to the glue in the beginning, it will not mix properly. Just add a little bit more water. That feels like right consistency. I think I'm going to start by doing a thin coat all over just to make a base, but I do want to change my background because I don't want to get glue on this one. So let's start by just taking a little bit, just adding some glue to it and see if it feels too thick or too thin. I think the glue might need to be a little bit thinner. So let's add a little bit more water. I think I might just start by wetting the base. It is really messy, so I hope you can see. So this is before, you can see the thread, and this is after. So I'm just going to do a thin coat all over the body. So I added one thin layer all the way around. I'm going to work on this more tomorrow. So it's been drying overnight and it's quite firm. So next I want to add a little bit more around the legs. So let's put a little bit of glue onto here, then take some more of the wool. I think I'm gonna twist it a little bit because I want to make the base a little bit wider. So we need a little bit more volume, something like that. So let's add some more glue, squish it. So let's build it up a little bit more. It is really sticky, all the glue. So I think the inside is looking really nice. I just want to blend the outside a little bit more. Now you can see it's kind of a ridge. See, it goes a little bit more in a corner. So I think I want to add a little bit here. I think that's looking good. So I'll do that to the rest of the legs. So I finished the legs and I'm actually pretty happy with them. So that needs to dry. So I was thinking to add a ball of aluminium foil to make the head. So let's grab a little bit of my foil. And I'm just going to scrunch it up. But I want to keep an opening for the little stick. So let's first try a roll shape. So I think it needs to be a little bit bigger, but it is a good base. But because it's so loose, it's hard to handle. And because the rest on the underside is wet and sticky, I think I'm going to just put some glue on the stick and try and secure it. Maybe add a little bit more of the thread just to see if we can secure it. So the thread I'm using is really cheap cotton, and if you pull too hard on it, it breaks, but it absorbs the glue better. So yeah, there are pros and cons to using the cotton material. So I think I'm just going to let it dry. So the head is really stuck on there, so that's good. I think I'm going to add one more layer. I think that's going to be just fine. There's one thing I wanted to point out. This is taking quite some time, but the reason why is because it's really cold in here. So right now it's even below 16 degrees and it takes a long time for everything to dry. So if you're doing this, probably do it in a little bit of a warmer area. But right now I'm just letting it dry overnight. So I'm just going to layer this on and try and stick it down so it becomes one piece with the body. So let me just finish refining the shape of the head and we'll do the ears. I want them to go to the side. I was thinking about using the normal cotton wool, but it's really fluffy and it goes everywhere. So I decided to use some makeup remover wipes and I'm just going to split it in two like so. And now I can just cut out the shape I want. I'm going for kind of a leaf. Now I've got two. I'm really going to add glue to both sides so they're really saturated. Let's just start with this side. And I think I'm going to stick it on the back. I'm going to use a little ball tool because my hands are just so sticky. And now we just have to shape it. I want to give it a little bit of a cute folded look. It's more looking like a donkey than a sheep. Okay, let's try that again. One more go. I just want them to be a little bit smaller. I kind of like that shape. So we're going to stick the one on the other side. Really trying to push it into the rest so it sticks. Let's see if we can make the other one look the same or at least similar. I'm really happy with that. So I'm just going to set it out in the sun. And then I think it's time to do the final layer. It's already looking really nice, but I want to give it a little bit more texture. Come on, it's really cute. So cute. So the ears are all dry and it came out absolutely gorgeous. And they are completely hard. I'm so happy how they turned out. It really looks like a sheep right now. The only thing it's missing is a little bit more texture on the body and the head. So that's the final thing I'm going to do before painting. And I'm going to show you a little bit how I'm doing that. So I took a little bit of the cotton wool and I'm just going to soak it with the glue. And dabbing is the best way to get it on because if you try and brush it on, it will just pull apart. Trust me, I tried. So once that's fully soaked, I'm going to already add a little bit of texture by just scrunching it up. So you end up with something looking like this. And now I'm just going to add some of the glue to the area I'm going to put this on. And now I'm just going to use my palette knife to carefully pick it up. And I'm just going to place it on top, keeping in mind the direction the wool is going to go. I'm just going to push it on with the brush and then just going to play around with it using the palette knife to push it around till it looks like wool. You could have just put it on straight away, but then it doesn't scrunch as nicely. Hopefully I can make it look a little bit better in editing so you can actually see what's happening. So let me try and show you. So this is what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to go and add all the texture all the way around. Just keep adding pieces and then I'll just let it dry. So I just finished adding all of the texture and I just wanted to show you. So I also added a tail. You can see it here. It's just really hard to show all white on white, but I think it's super cute. So I can't wait to have it dry and ready to be painted. So yeah, gonna see you in, I think, about 24 hours. I really like it. It's so cute. So it's time to paint and I put two colors on my little palette. One is this Parisian rose and the other one is this nude color. And I think mixing those two will give me the right color. I think it still might be a little bit too pink, but let's just find out. How much I like pink. This isn't the vibe I was going for. It's more like a pig than a sheep at the moment. So I'm just going to go over it with the straight nude so it matches the popsicle sticks a little bit better. So let's see how that looks. I think that's going to look so much better. So let me do a layer of that. So that's a lot better. But for the wool, I think I want to do something a little bit crazy. So what I was thinking is getting some white and then adding a tiny bit of this brown, this much. So that's already a little bit better. I want to make it a little bit less orangey. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of my black, something like this. It's giving me a nice brownish gray, which I think will do the job because I want to make the wool look a little bit more dirty so I can dry brush over top and get this texture to really stand out. I'm just going to add some water and mix it in, basically creating a wash. So let's see what the color is on white. I actually really like that. So here we go. I know it looks like a lot. You really have to trust the process. It's going to be fine, and otherwise I'm going to turn her into a black sheep. I actually really like the color, so I've got some white here. I'm going to put in this much brown. I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to dab. I'm going to take most of it off, almost dry, and I'm just going to carefully, let's start here, go over it. In real life the difference is bigger. Let me see if I switch out my lights, if it helps. I think you can see it a little bit better now, but you can see that there are lighter areas. Like this is completely flat looking, and here you have more texture. So let's just finish this layer. And for the final bit of dry brushing, I'm using just a makeup brush, and I'm going to use the pure titanium white, taking most of it off and then just lightly going over it. Probably need a little bit more. So let's try that again. I can see it, but I don't think the camera can see it. Like I promise something is happening. It's not just in my head. Let me turn down the ISO. Maybe that will help. There you go. Maybe now you can see. So this is without. This is with. You can see there's a lot more texture showing. This is all dark and this is light. So I'm just going to finish that and then we'll paint on the face. So let's finish the face. So I'm just going to try and use my ball tool. I'm just dipping it in my paint. I did mark it with a pencil where I want the eye. Let's just start small. I think the placement is right, so let's make them a little bit bigger. And I think I might add some eye shinies later. They are at the same height as the ears, but the face is so crooked. It just looks silly. But from the sides it's looking good. So let's do the nose. I'm just gonna use some more black. So let me just finish up the face. And then it's time for the final reveal. So I think you already know her. I've showed her in the beginning of the video, but this is how the finished product looks. I'm really happy how it turned out. Like, how cute is that tail? And it's really sturdy. Like, nothing's gonna happen to it. I gave her some eye shinies and a little bit of a shiny nose. But I ended up liking doing this so much that I made her a friend. So I made this cute little alpaca. The possibilities are endless. It's just the same base, but with a different shape, but everything is the same. The only thing I did extra is put a little washer in the back. I just glued it on and then added the texture on top. Because the head was a little bit heavy, it tended to fall over, but with the little counterweight, it stands perfectly straight. So yeah, here they are, super cute. Oh my god, how many times did I say cute? So are you going to be doing this craft? I really think you should. It's so much fun, it's really easy. But for now, I just want to thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!